We'll fix high school when we fix second grade. I just wrote that in there because it sounded good as a talking point, but there's also something in that talking point that educators get. We will fix high school when we fix second grade. When I was last under contract to teach, because I'm a teacher, I've been a teacher for 30 years. Right now, I'm a math and physics tutor in Johnson County, Kansas. I love tutoring. I have a student this summer from St. Louis University. We're teaching he's learning the calculus. Not all the calculus, but a good part of the calculus. So we met at the library yesterday, and I got crossways on an integral, an indefinite integral where you don't have limits of integration. I'm going to sound like a math teacher once in a while. Anyway, the point is I wasn't sure how to do this one, so I texted my son, who is a math and physics major at the University of Tulsa. He got a free ride. Maybe I'll tell you about my son, Forrest. Anyway, he texted me back a solution, which was pretty cool. So one of the lessons for my student from St. Louis University is you want to learn how to solve the problems. But when you reach a problem that you cannot solve, it's good to know somebody who does. And that is a very important lesson for our children. We can't teach them everything they need to know. What are the jobs going to be like 40 years from now? What are computers going to be like 40 years from now? We don't know. But we need to teach them to read well and understand the language of numbers. I can't tell you how many times I've said that at board meetings. That's the crux of what we have to do. And I was privileged to hear Senator Ben Sasse of Nebraska suggest to us we should differentiate education from schooling. I think there's a lot to be said about that. Our job in schools should be to school children, particularly young ones, in how to read well and how to understand the language of numbers. That's what kids should learn up until about the age of 8. So one of the things I've talked to my fellow board members about is to move the traditional break between primary and secondary school, which comes at the beginning of middle school, after elementary school, 6th grade, 7th grade. We should move that earlier. The break between primary and secondary should be between 4th and 5th grade, or maybe even between 3rd and 4th grade, because this adage that you may have heard really has a lot of power with it. Kids before the age of 8 learn to read. After the age of 8, they read to learn. There's a lot of power in that statement.